Art galleries and exhibitions serve as a platform for artists to introduce their works of art to their fans. Contemporary painting in Ethiopia is getting famous since recently a set type of art galleries are flourishing, particularly in Addis Ababa. Contemporary painters get a chance to display their creations, reflecting on various perspectives of life at different spots of the city. As modern painting focuses on the livelihood of painters, Ethiopian painters explore their interest and feeling through painting. The early 20th century gave birth to modern Ethiopian art with increasing number of artists who attended classes and reflect way of life of Ethiopians in their works. Among those is Alefalege Salam, who studied art in School of the Art Institution of Chicago, played a decisive role in the foundation of modern art school, the Addis Ababa School of Fine Arts in Ethiopia. The School of Fine Arts have so far been fruitful in helping painters identify their talents and put it in use. Thanks to this endeavor, contemporary Ethiopian art started to be noticed at global level.
In the early 20th century, modern art began, and it began in two ways. One, through those Ethiopians who were educated abroad. You can take as an important example two individuals. Afor Gebra Jesus, who was trained abroad. Aganye Hungada is another person who was educated in France. And Agnew introduced modern techniques of painting.
The modern art school opened here in Addis Ababa. I think it was about 15 years back when Alefalege Salam, he came from Chicago and he was educated in Chicago. He was the founder of the art school, and then they founded the art school. Since then, for about these 15 more years, the art school are graduating students every year who specialize in painting and sculpture, in industrial design and graphic arts.
Painting in Ethiopia has a long history of using churches and monasteries to express religious iconography. With such a strong history, it is only natural that fine art continues to develop in Ethiopia, taking its step of improvement. Ethiopian painting used to be more religious and only iconography, but this started to be replaced by contemporary thinking as a result of globalization.
After the Second World War, up to the 1960s, it was a time of modernism. But after 1917, 18 and 19th, the whole world is living now in a postmodern world. In a postmodern world, the art scene is completely different. It is, I can tell you that the boundaries between national and international has blurred. So it is more eclectical, it's more globalization. The globalized period is coming to the art scene at the same time.
The introduction of modern elements on how Ethiopian paintings appear these days has not changed the identity the works enjoyed for long. The paintings still depict unique features from the rest of the world through their themes. Nowadays, the contemporary Ethiopian paintings portray distinct subject matters with such ideas that arise from the community.
እንግዲህ አሁን ያለንበት ዘመን ምንድነው? ያው የዘመናዊ አስተሳሰብ ዓለም ወደ አንድ ቅርጽ ውስጥ እየገባችና ዓለም እየጠበበች በመጣችበት
The world has become one village. It's a time of globalization. As a result, we painters paint similar portraits, but still, the way we express a single theme might be different from one another. I express my experiment through Ethiopianism because that's what I know. So I paint what Ethiopians feel.
I think in Europe, what is really public art and community art is really interesting in these days. And what's happening here is exactly fitting into this wave and into this interest of artistic practice, this community involvement, collecting patterns and ideas from the public and from the people, and make art an interaction, make art a tool to communicate with people. And I think it's happening here right now.
Traditional painting of Ethiopian and the contemporary ones are different in their way of painting and structure.
We always divide Ethiopian painting into traditional and modern. The division is based on the exercise of the work. How do they produce the artwork? Not based on technique, not based on quality. So traditional painting is something that is transferred from one generation to another. So through apprenticeship. If I am the traditional painter, I train one apprentice and then I teach him how to paint. There are no rules. What we call modern painting is painting for the sake of painting, and then one painter will have his own distinct style, his own theme, his own focus. So we call it modern art principally because of the liberty of artistic expression. In traditional painting, we don't find any liberty of artistic.
Usually when the outside world think of Ethiopian art, it's the usual like sacred artworks, like icons of these traditional paintings. But nowadays, this was a chance for us to show them there is also another part of it. There is a contemporary art happening in our country. There are artists who does their own creations in the studios and also in our place. So they get surprised. I respect the traditional motifs and the traditional paintings. It's an old history of Ethiopia, but at the same time, that's not the life that we are living now. There is a lot happening, and our country is in change. So there is a lot to say about that. So what is the contribution of the artists in the making of the city, in the country? So many artists could say many things about this happening, and they can have many things to contribute. So we need to speak about what's today.
One thing that we have to do is, of course, our tradition is so dynamic. It's one of the best artwork in the world, I can tell you, our traditional art. We can learn from it. We can take from it. We can dig from our tradition to, as I told you, link it with our contemporary art. Because when it comes to identity, for us as an African, as an Ethiopian, we have to be proud of our identity. We have to study the most characteristics of our traditional art and bring it into the contemporary scene. So the link that creates between the tradition and the modern will push the art forward. At the same time, it keeps its identity as a country,
Art is a powerful medium that can portray an image of one's nation. A visual art like that of painting in particular speaks more than words. People can communicate through this international language. Therefore, such type of artworks can be used to draw a positive image of Ethiopia all over the world.
It's a very good chance for a country to introduce themselves as through their creative talent. Visuality is you don't need speak languages. You can just see a picture and a painting, and you can understand the emotions and the situations.
It introduces us a lot because it tells our story, it tells our belief, our religion, it tells how we were looking like, it tells the culture, it tells the depths deep thinking of the people. So it introduced us a lot in every aspect. We have so many parchment paintings all over the world in museums, and they know, the whole world knows that our paintings are special. It's our style, our colors, and we are known by that actually.
ስዕል እንግዲህ አሁን ከቋንቋ ጋር ስታስተያየው የማስተዋወቅ አቅሙ በጣም ትልቅ ነው።
Painting has a great role in introducing a nation to the rest of the world. For example, not knowing other countries' language will not hinder a person from understanding a theme of a painting. Paintings speak more than words and introduce one's country at the same time.
Art, painting in particular, has always been used as a tool to strongly express Ethiopian culture. A number of contemporary painters are playing their role in introducing the unique identity and tradition of Ethiopia for the world.
Nowadays, even foreigners have understood that the dynamism that there is in Ethiopia. That's why last time in New York Times they have written about Ethiopian art. They said that it is one of the 13 countries in the world which has to be, tourists have to go to Ethiopia and see what is going on there in Ethiopia, especially the art. The art is really very dynamic here in Ethiopia.
በአሁን ሰዓት እንግዲህ አሁን ሰዓሊ ከበፊቱ በተሻለ ራሱን የማስተዋወቅ ስዕሉን ሰርቶ
Painters nowadays are active in promoting contemporary art of Ethiopia for the outside world. They exhibit their work in the country as well as abroad with different themes, but represent Ethiopia. Earlier this month, New York Times magazine has put Ethiopia as the 13th country of the world was to be visited. It indicated frequent art exhibitions in the capital as one factor. This shows that our painting is getting recognition globally.
I more know about certain painters and also the way how I got interested in contemporary Ethiopian art. It was when I got the booklet in my hand, The Enigma of New and Modern, and then I started to read about artists here. And I realized that the contemporary artists here, they have been a great interest to interact with the public and with the people of Addis Ababa, and I think it's really fascinating.
Young painters are contributing their efforts. In this regard, where members of Neza Art Village can be taken as an example. These painters go around the world to introduce their works in Ethiopia at large, which has made foreigners turn their eyes to Ethiopia and produce a documentary film about Ethiopian contemporary paintings.
Right now in Addis we are making a short documentary film with Netza Art Village and also trying to organize a series of programs later on based in Addis, working together with local artists and of course Netza Art Village. Netza Art Village, I think it's really a bastion of new wave art in Ethiopia. And what they do, that they organize programs like, for example, when they invited the children from orphanage to do paintings here, and then they do performances on the street. This is really the new age of art in Addis Ababa, and it's really fascinating, and I'm really happy to be there and work together with
contemporary young artists who are working very hard and who are very dynamic. Really, they are the future of Ethiopian contemporary art, because they are the ones who are going to promote the Ethiopian art scene here and abroad. And at the same time, they are much diversified, you know. They don't stick to one style only or to one kind of medium. They do different kinds of medium like photography, installation, performing and everything, what a contemporary art scene.
Addis Ababa hosts art exhibitions at least once a week, which creates an opportunity for tourists to see the work of Ethiopian painters and the unique paintings.
The number of painters exhibiting their works annually is increasing from the previous period. So there is generally, I can say, that the art of painting is flourishing.
Towns and cities like Addis, we do have galleries, we do have places to go, you know. If people are interested to see, I think they do have places, enough places, especially in Addis. Not only that, you know, galleries are exporting a lot, and the whole world is really interested in African art these days, especially Ethiopian also.
The art of painting in Ethiopia is flourishing, with expanding of dynamic young painters, with magnificent way of portraying Ethiopia.
The younger artists are more dynamic than the senior ones, because we have passed through hard times, you know. But the younger ones are more active, they have got a good interaction with foreigners, with other people. They even have studios, you know. They rent a house in a group and work together in a group. They exhibit things in a group.
The space for artists is expanding. That may create also a better condition for the painting to improve. And in the context they are painting, Ethiopian contemporary artists, they are not exhibiting only in Ethiopia, they are exhibiting abroad, in European countries and then also in the Americas. So they are exchanging their experiences, widely sharing their ideas and concepts with workshops.
I think right now in Addis Ababa there are a couple of really new wave painters and artists who are really creating a really high quality painting and art of work, and they reach this high quality because they not only do painting, they also try to investigate or do research on the society.
Recent paintings are also exhibited in private galleries and studios, schools and training centers.
Nowadays, there are better conditions for painters. One, in training centers and schooling for painters, it is expanding. It's in a better condition. And secondly, galleries and then also art centers, studios are expanding. And a considerable number of also higher institutions, higher learning institutions are incorporating painting and other forms of art into their curriculum and then into their programs.
While institutions or painting schools develop, it's very obvious that the art will also be improved. The modern art of Ethiopia is supported by education, which contributes for the same cause. Different schools are producing a number of painters these days. Painters are also exhibiting, opening private galleries and studios, which is a promising beginning to take the art a further step.
Ethiopian contemporary art, just like the traditional one, has special features for researchers and tourists, as paying a visit to one of the art exhibitions in the city will relax mind, teach things about Ethiopia. Anyone from any part of the world can speak the language of painting art.